Len. The way we're looking at things this year is that although we've got a big budget gap that has to be filled, we're really looking at it as an opportunity to maybe do things in a different way, that we really focus on what we can do to grow our economy, to get out of our problems, instead of resorting to tax increases followed by deficits that we've been in for a while now. And I know that's a tough thing to do and a tough challenge, but can you talk a little bit from your perspective as somebody who's been in the building for quite a while and been in business about the direction that you think Connecticut needs to go in and what we can do this year to maybe start that process?
Sure. First of all, thank you for inviting me, and thank you all for coming. And let me tell you why it's important for you to be here before I answer the question. You need to go face-to-face, seek out your legislator later on today, whether it's where you live or where you work, hit both, to express what you feel your frustrations are with the state of Connecticut relative to doing business in the state. And the reason why I tell you this is because if you don't do it, there are other people who are going to take an opposite point of view to some extent and talk about their issues. And they don't hear this building, the legislators here do not hear enough from you. And not only take this day, but all the other days, as you read about what's going on or Joe sends you alerts, don't take those alerts lightly. Act on them. Because if, we have a saying in the building, if you're not at the table, you become the meal. So you need to be engaged early on, and you need to contact your legislator, whether you're in favor of something or opposing it. Otherwise, the decision will be made for you, and maybe you suffer the consequences. So one of our problems in this state, and there are a lot, is that we think of things in 2-year cycle on budgets. We never think 4 years, 8 years out. And we have to do structural changes that we have to talk about this year. So 4, 6, 8 years out, they will have an effect upon the next group of folks who are sitting here trying to figure out how to put a budget together or how to drive the economy back into the state of Connecticut. And that's an uncomfortable and probably a low item on the totem pole, because why should we put our necks out for something today that is 4 years, 8 years down the line? But the consequences of not doing that are what we're facing. If you look at the budget, we have significant deficits, and we're not funding a lot of social services. But yet, we have a ton of money going towards state contracting. Everyone needs to share in this. And I don't blame state workers. I mean, they should get what their advocates get them. But we need to talk about a fundamental change for new state workers, long term. You can't do defined benefit. It just isn't going to work. It is unsustainable no matter where we do this. I'm under the state contract relative to my health care. I pay what I think is like $5 or $6 for non-generic drugs or something, prescriptions. And that's kind of good for me, but it's an expensive plan. We've got one of the best plans. It's so good that actually the former Deep Commissioner's wife, Congressman Esty, who became a congresswoman, opted to stay in the state plan because the congressional plan wasn't as good as the state plan. So that'll tell you something about our state plan. But, we need to not change a deal that's on the table for existing employees, because I don't know if that's fair. But future, we need to start talking about substantive changes and get the state government a little back in line with reality. And that will help us out. So we do have to look long-term, long-range, transportation, and other issues. And I'll yield at this point. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thank you, Len. I appreciate it.